a 10-year-old charged with murder. Now, if you don't remember this case, a while back we talked about a group of teens fighting or in a disagreement, something, in an altercation where a 10-year-old ended up killing a 13-year-old girl. And now he has been officially charged with murder.
We have an update tonight in a case that shocked the city back in February. A 10-year-old boy now charged with murder. This is in the death of a Houston teenager. McKenna Earnhardt is in the studio with the latest on how police tracked him down and the legal battle ahead. It's so hard to hear. It's a 10-year-old.
Yeah, Rashi, it is rare to see a child this young, basically an elementary schooler, facing a murder charge. But tonight, that is the reality for this 10-year-old who stabbed 13-year-old Dean Middle School student Riley Dearmoss. Officers tracked him down and arrested him in North Carolina yesterday. This all stems from a fight back in February at an apartment complex on Grove Lane in Northwest Houston. 30 people were involved, and in the middle of the chaos, 13-year-old Riley Dearmoss was killed.
It happened in Houston, but they tracked him to North Carolina. Why was he that far?
The 10-year-old boy told investigators he stabbed her in self-defense. The boy was released, but later taken back into custody following a lengthy investigation. He is now charged with murder. I sat down with legal expert David Smith to break down the hurdles of a case involving a child, a claim of self-defense, and a possible 40-year sentence.
The juvenile justice system is very focused on rehabilitation, more so than punishment.
They may still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. How are they supposed to sit in a courtroom and fully understand the charges at hand, or to speak with their lawyer to come up with the best plans? What happens with a 10-year-old there?
The process can be explained if the child is capable to fully understand. I don't know if there are underlying issues that could affect potential competency or not. I don't know. But what I evaluate as an attorney is my client competent? Can they aid in their defense? Do they fully understand the charges that they're facing?
He said it was self-defense, but since he's already said that I did it, I stabbed her, is that a confession?
If this 10-year-old did what was necessary to defend himself or to defend a third party, which the law also allows, that doesn't mean they're guilty of murder. The act where a 13-year-old lost their life, that doesn't change. But the question is, did it rise to the level of intending to cause someone's death without justification? There is no right to bail in the juvenile system. So in theory, it's possible that, like some of my clients, they were in juvenile custody until the case was resolved. That could be a long time from now.
A 40-year determinate sentence is the maximum that child can get. At the age of 19, that child, who's now an adult, has a hearing to determine whether or not the Juvenile Justice Department releases him or if he's transferred to the adult system. For a 10-year-old, if they are in prison for 40 years, the child will be 50 years old before they touch the free world.
Wow. 40 years is what he could get. 40 years. And then he would have to, at 19, he would have to transfer to an adult or be released. Wow. Let's get over into this next video and see how the family of that 13-year-old is feeling.
A 10-year-old boy is now behind bars and charged with murder for the stabbing death of a 13-year-old girl. This is a disturbing story we first brought you in early February.
Investigators say they arrested the 10-year-old yesterday in North Carolina. Officers have now identified the young victim as 13-year-old Riley Dearmoss. ABC 13's Brianna Willis joining us now live after speaking with her mother this afternoon. Brianna?
Hey there, yeah, and her mother tells me that she and Riley were actually just best friends. So as you guys can imagine, the last 2 months have been very difficult for her. But right now, she also is carrying a piece of Riley with her wherever she goes. And she also tells me that this arrest is very bittersweet for her.
I'm very satisfied with the arrest made today. It puts my mind at ease.
But Ashley Dearmoss says nothing will bring her only daughter, Riley Dearmoss, back. Houston police say in early February, a fight broke out between two groups of young people at a Northwest Houston apartment complex. Investigators say at some point, a 10-year-old boy stabbed 13-year-old Riley to death. Now, 2 months later, the boy, finally charged with murder, and arrested in North Carolina, according to investigators.
I knew and I had faith that justice would be served for her. It just took some time that we all didn't want, but it's working out.
Ashley tells me it's been a rough time for her family, especially on March 20th, which would have been Riley's 14th birthday.
Once again, a bittersweet moment. She wasn't here. That was something that she was very excited about. Before her tragic death, we talked about it. We had a lot of things planned. So to do it and still go on without her being here, it was a very hard day for me.
Riley's heart is no longer beating, but memories etched on her mom's heart forever.
I miss you every day, down to the very second. I love her and I miss her.
Yeah, and her mom also tells me right now she hopes there will be more arrests in this case. Right now, investigators have not yet released what led up to these charges or if the 10-year-old boy is back here in Harris County.
Now, I wonder how the mother is going to feel, or if she already understands that there's a possibility he could get off with this. He could get away with it. Or he won't be, or they can't prove murder. He has to be truly believes that he is competent of it. And if the judge feels he's not, he might get away with it, or the mother might not feel it's true justice. But let's get over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this case and see if we missed anything. So as we know, in April 2026, a 10-year-old boy was formally charged with murder in connection to 13-year-old Riley in Houston, Texas. The stabbing occurred on February 4th during an altercation involving two groups of people at an apartment complex in northwest Houston. She was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The boy was detained at the scene immediately following the incident, but was initially released as police investigated. He reportedly claimed he acted in self-defense and claimed Riley's family strongly disputed. After a nearly 2-month investigation, the boy was formally charged with the murder on March 31st. He was eventually located and arrested in April 22nd, 2026 in Charlotte, North Carolina by a violent criminal apprehension team. So because I'm assuming if they're under investigation, at least this is how I understand it works. If you commit a crime, they release you. They expect you to stay so they can find you. If they had to track you down, they was probably trying to hide. So in Texas, a 10 is the minimum age of criminal responsibility. Consequently, the case has been referred to Harris County juvenile authorities. Due to his age, authorities have not released the boy's name or photo. Riley's mother described the arrest as bittersweet, noting that while it brings some release, she is still grieving her daughter. Wow. Let's get a little bit more information on how much time he could get, because they said 40 years, but let's listen to it. So because the defendant is only 10 years old, he faces a maximum of 40 years under the Texas Juvenile Determinate Sentencing Law. In Texas, children under the age of 14 cannot be tried as an adult. Instead, serious felonies, cases like murder, are handled through a specific 2-stage process. So we have the initial juvenile detention. If convicted, the boy would likely be sent to a facility managed by Texas Juvenile Justice Department under a determinate sentence for murder. He would be required to serve a minimum of period of confinement, which is for capital murder, can be as long as 10 years or shorter for first-degree murder. So when the juvenile turns 18 or 19, a judge holds a mandatory transfer hearing to review their progress and behavior. The judge then decides between 3 options. So we got release. The individual is released on parole if they have shown significant rehabilitation. The individual, and then you got discharge, which the individual is fully discharged from the system. Or you got transfer. If the judge determines the individual is not rehabilitated, they can be transferred to adult prison to serve the remainder of their 40 years in prison. Now, here's a question. Do you think he can be truly rehabilitated? If it was just a spur of the moment type of thing, probably. If he truly meant to cause harm or didn't care, maybe not. The question is, how are they going to prove that he is truly rehabilitated? Because anybody can hide. And if a 10-year-old spending 9 years in juvenile hall, he's going to learn a lot about how to at least try to fake it to make it. Essentially is how you got to put it. But we can't say definitely he can't be rehabilitated because we don't know the situations of the stabbing itself. He claims self-defense. It could have been self-defense. And if so, he probably should be released. Or he probably wouldn't be charged in the first place. He'd be able to get away with that self-defense claim. But we'll have to wait and see when more information comes out to tell us. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said.